Alright guys, so we're going to do another test review today. So here's our worksheet. So let's do some problems together. So number 1, it says f of g of negative 15. So we are going to take our g function and we are going to put negative 15 in where the x is. So g of negative 15 is negative 15 divided by 5, which is negative 3. So now we know this inside portion. We always have to start from the inside and work our way out. So now we're going to find f of whatever this was, which was negative 3. So we take out the x and replace it with our negative 3. And when we do this, we need to multiply because our 3 and our x sit right next to each other, and that means multiply. So our negative 3 and our new number, whatever value it is for x, which is negative 3, they have to sit next to each other and multiply as well. And then minus 2. Negative 3 times negative 3 is 9. Minus 2 is 7. So your answer is 7. Okay, number 4. So here's our two functions. We're trying to figure out f of g of negative 7. Always start on the inside and work your way out. So I'm going to figure out what g of negative 7 is. We're going to replace the x with negative 7. So 2 times negative 7 plus 4 divided by 2. And you can plug all of this in your calculator if you want to. So you're going to use the fractiony boxy button. 2 parentheses, negative 7 plus 4 over 2 is negative 5. So g of negative 7 is actually equal to negative 5. So what I'm really trying to figure out is what f of negative 5 is, because we know this is negative 5. So I have 2. I'm going to take out my x in my f function and replace it with what my x is, which is negative 5. And then minus 2. 2 times negative 5 is negative 10. Minus 2 is negative 12. So that is your answer. Okay, let's do a few more. On the back side, we have our 3 functions at the top. And these are used for the whole page, even for number 11. So if we did number 7, 7 is 2h of x minus h of negative 2. Okay, so let's start with this guy. We're going to ignore that 2 for a second on the front. I want h of x. Well, we know what h of x is. It's up here. So it's 5x plus 3. And I want 2 of those, so I'm going to put parentheses, because you should always put parentheses around your function. And then the 2 goes out front. I'm multiplying. I want 2 of these guys. Always put a minus sign. This guy is here. And then I want h of negative 2. So I'm going to take my same h function, and I'm going to replace my x with negative 2. 5 times negative 2 plus 3. Okay? And we're going to put that guy in parentheses because your whole function needs to be in parentheses, just like that. Okay, so now we're going to simplify. Here at the front, when I have a variable, I just distribute whatever's in front. This guy I had a 2. Sometimes it's like a negative or whatever. Okay, 2 times negative 5, or 2 times 5 is 10x. 2 times 3 is 6. And then I'm going to keep my minus sign, keep bringing that guy down. 5 times negative 2 is negative 10 plus 3. So negative 10 plus 3 is negative 7. Okay, so now I really have 10x plus 6 minus 7. Well, these two negatives turn into a positive, and 6 and 7 are like terms, so I can combine them. So I've got 10x plus 13, and it doesn't matter what order you write them in. Okay, so let's try number 8. So number 8 can be kind of tricky because it's a fraction. So we have the f function on the top, which is already a fraction, and then the g function underneath. But if you just plug everything in, it can be pretty easy. So the f of negative 7, our f function is negative 4, and then I'm going to replace my x with negative 7 plus 2 divided by 2. So this is the f function, and we're going to divide that by our g function, which is x squared minus 4, but I'm replacing my 3 with my x. Okay, So we're going to do the top. So fractiony boxy button, -4 parentheses -7 plus 2 all over 2, and that gives me 15. So I really have 15 on the top, and then on the bottom we have 3 squared minus 4, which is 5. So then we reduce. 15 divided by 5 is 3. So your answer on number 8 is 3. So it looks really crazy, but it's a simple answer. Let's look at number 9. Number 9 has g of x and h of x. So g of x, we're going to write that down. We know what it is because it says it right here. G of x is x squared minus 4. So we'll write that down. X squared minus 4. And then we're going to add to that h of x. And h of x is 5x plus 3. So now all we have to do is combine our like terms. Well, when you have exponents, these guys can only be combined with the same exponents. And I don't have any more x squared, so my x squared is just going to hang out. I only have one x right here. Well, this 5x, I've got 5 of them, I guess. 5 just plain x's. And then I have -4 plus 3, which is -1. So I can combine those because they are like terms, and this is my answer. So you're not going to get like an actual number like we did on number 8, but this is still the answer. This is, when I combine my g function and my h function, this is what we get. Okay, last but not least, here's something that's very common for mistakes. 2 very common mistakes here for Brian. So we're going to do this one together so you can see Brian's very, very common mistakes. F of -3. So f of x is, we're going to do f of -3 is -4 times -3 plus 2 divided by 2. And we have to do that first. Never mind. Okay, so remember, here Brian made the mistake. He did not multiply. He was supposed to multiply these guys. He didn't. -4 times -3 is positive 12 plus 2 divided by 2. That's 14 divided by 2 is 7. So f of -3 is equal to 7. We're going to subtract that from g of x. So we have our f of -3, which is 7, minus our g of x. So we're going to put this whole thing, because if you have a function, it should be in parentheses. So we're putting the whole thing in parentheses. G of x is x squared minus 4. So at this point, Brian just kind of smushed them together right here. So he forgot to multiply right there, and then he just wrote minus x squared minus 4. He did not use parentheses, so here's what Brian missed. When you don't use parentheses, then you forget you're supposed to distribute this negative. So that will be 7 minus x squared, which is what he had-ish if he would have multiplied, and then plus 4. So this 4 should be a positive 4 and not a negative 4. Then we combine our like terms. 7 and 4 is 11 minus x squared, or you could write negative x squared plus 11. So when he rewrote them, it's not a bad thing. It's still correct if that would have been how you did it correctly, but he messed up this minus 4. He should not have done that. He should have distributed, so it should be plus 4, and he forgot to multiply these guys. These are very common mistakes, so make sure you know about them. Okay, let your teacher know if you have any questions. Have a great day. Bye!